Have you been to my website? It's wifeotp.com. There's so much stuff there that I love, like my new merch. You can check that out. You can get information from my live show in Nashville. You can check out our book clubs. There's links to our episodes. I'm going to be starting a newsletter soon, so you can sign up for the email list and get my newsletter. So check out my website at wifeotp.com. Do you think that affected your relationship with women?
Yeah.
I figured, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Well, my fans are really positive. My fans are really nice people.
Yeah.
They seem
I've
to be
cultivated
nice.
good people. I remember Steve Simone telling me that Dice told him one time, like, you guys did it right. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, when I'm out with you guys, I see people come up like, hey, I love your podcast, or I love this story, and how's your kids or whatever. And he goes, when I'm out, I get hickory dickory dock. He's like, my kids are here. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
I never thought of
Good
that.
point. That's so funny. Oh, I bet it would be tough to be Dice.
It would be, right?
I loved him growing up.
Oh,
And now I look at him, I look at his comedy now and I go, oh my God, that's what we were listening to.
and loved. He
And
sold out
loved.
arenas before the
Right.
internet.
Well,
So
I
many
think
people talked about it. That's how crazy that was.
it was crazy. Bring your mic up to you.
And now, are we recording already?
Oh yeah, we already started.
Oh, sorry.
Perfect. The thing about Dice, and the thing I think that's lost sometimes nowadays, is that women don't laugh at themselves in that way. Like, what you have to realize about Dice is that he loved women. So even with the like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you, whatever, it's because he just loved women. He just wanted women. And I know
love
it's
that you
not
see that
PC,
side. Yeah.
but you have to see that women have all the power. We have
All the power. Yeah.
I mean, we control so much of the world just because you want to get in our pants.
It's a line that sticks in my head. It's such an old movie. It's DC Cab.
Yeah.
And Gary Busey says, I don't know what you ladies are mad about. You got half the money and all the pussy. I'm like, yeah, fucking
That's
true.
a great line.
And if you really leaned into it, you get all the money. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dice, I was such a huge fan. I went to see him back when it was called the Capitol Center in DC. I still have the ticket stub you're part of arena tours now.
Mm-hmm.
But he was arenas before any of this internet in our hands and stuff. Like,
Totally.
how many people had to say, you got to listen to this guy for you to sell it? I mean, it's unmatched. And I still follow him. I still follow him on Instagram, and he makes me laugh so hard because he just walks up to random people in the street and he'll be like, are you the one that wanted the picture? And they're like, what? What are you talking about?
That's so cute.
It's so great. I love Dice.
Well, everything back then was built on audio, I think, because you listened to comedy on an album or cassette tape. And that's when you went to the theaters because it was all, audible. When I help Bert edit all his specials, and I will go at least one pass where I don't watch it and I just listen to it because the listening is where all the rhythm is and the subtleties and the watching it almost. It's like the icing on the cake, but the real shit is what you hear.
Yeah.
It's all what you hear.
There'll be at least once a year, I'll put on my old Richard Pryor CDs and I'll just fucking turn all the lights off, put headphones on.
Do you really?
And listen to it like that close. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I love comedy. I know everyone wants that polished, beautiful thing, but I like hearing someone cough in the club, in the corner, in the audio. I like hearing a fork drop or a cup clink or something like that, where there's life in the audience and it's not just this voice into this microphone all the time.
Totally. I feel that way too. I like comedy too. I was just talking to somebody Tuesday. I don't know who, but I was like, I had never intended to be in the world of comedy. That was not in my brain at all. But my dad watched Carlin. He watched Gallagher. My dad loved Gallagher. And I saw J.J. Walker at the Atlanta Punchline.
You did?
I did. It was the first comic I saw. My mom snuck me in there because she thought I was very depressed. And I probably was.
And thought Dynamite would cheer you up.
JJ would cheer me up.
It worked.
And I loved it. I was like, this is amazing. And then, I don't know, I love comics so much because I think comics are the truth tellers and they're the only people who can say hickory dickory dock. And if you have a brain at all, you know that it's a joke and it's supposed to make you laugh and think light of things that maybe aren't so light sometimes and escape from your problems. And
yeah, I'm not a big fan of the woke PC bullshit. And I do think that comedy clubs, or at least these shows, should be a sanctuary for going in and laughing at stuff we're not supposed to laugh. Like, look, we're all people.
Mm-hmm.
There are things we're not supposed to laugh at.
Totally.
Of course. However, there are some ugly things some of us, myself, I have a whole show based on highlighting lowlights. We need to laugh about it.
Totally.
If you don't, you just cry the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a safe space where we can all go to these pockets and laugh about the ugliness and the dumb things and the idiocracy of life and this is into that. You know, the thing that I don't understand, and I'll say this, like there's this, insert group here. We don't want you to make fun of us. Okay, fine. But to me, acceptance is shitting on everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like white people, black people, Asians, tall, skinny, fat, short, handicapped, whatever. Welcome to the shit show. Like inclusion is throwing you into that pot with everyone else, and it's shitting on everyone. You're excluding. You don't get to say, hey, my thing is special, more special than all of these, and you have to respect it and not shit on it. You don't get that.
Well, that's not really inclusion, is it?
That's exclusion.
You're excluding.
That's right.
Yeah, you're excluding yourself
exactly
by not being like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know.
But also, you're a person. So let's say you are gay. Let's say you're gay. But you also might be fat. You also might be short. You also might be really tall. And like those things are okay to make fun of, but this one isn't.
Right.
You know, there'll be people that come up to me at a show sometimes, like, you made fun of fat people. I'm like, I made fun of Mexicans, white people, tall people. Like, you were okay with that. It's this thing that gets you. And for some reason, society is flipped upside down where we're like, that 1% we're going to start listening to and kowtowing to. And, you know, no, that 1% is more than entitled and free will to get the fuck up and leave or turn the channel or eject the cassette.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with you. I think that specialness excludes you. We all put our pants on the same way. Every human being puts their pants on the same way.
And we're all 10 different things. We're not just, I am not just gay. I am not just a dad. I am not just whatever. You know what I mean? We're all your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your teacher, whatever. And you're not going to be good at all those fucking titles either, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true. You know, I love the Kings of Comedy. I've probably seen that movie.
That you love Steve Harvey.
I love Steve
Bert
Harvey.
told me how much you love.
Let me tell you about.
You're looking around the room and nobody right now.
I'm trying to find him in here somewhere. He's starting his own network, and you better believe I'm signing up for that. I listen to the Steve Harvey morning show. I am a huge fan of Steve Harvey. And I have friends who are black who said, there's no way you really get it. And maybe I don't. But does it matter? Because I really fucking think he's funny. So does it matter if I really get it? Look,
all you're supposed to get, that's it.
That's it.
All you're supposed to get is the humor in it.
Yes.
And the funny in it. That's it.
The things I, quote, don't get are the things that are culturally part of his world that I can now safely laugh at, because if I just laughed at someone doing what he's describing in the world, I would be thought of as a really bad person. When I go culturally, I do ridiculous things. We were just ordering from a restaurant this morning, and someone asked me if I like this restaurant. I said, this is the worst white people food on the planet. I don't want to eat from that restaurant. I hate that restaurant. It's just white people, bland. There's no flavor.
No salt.
There's nothing. It's like, and it's healthy. Yeah. Pass on the white people food. But if I said that about another ethnicity's food, that would be very, be very uncool. But so I feel like watching Steve Harvey or Bernie Mac was actually my absolute favorite. I just loved Bernie Mac. And I just enjoy that culture so much. And when they lay it all out there like that, it's a gift to me because I get to watch and enjoy something that I may never get to be privy to because culturally, all cultures behave differently when they're with themselves. You know, our best friends are Vietnamese and Chinese. And when we go to their house, they're eating shit I don't even know is on the planet. There's like, here's some pig uterus with a side of this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But I would never, we don't go to dinner with them with a group of people and eat like that. So I get the privilege of being part of their culture in a very safe, happy, positive, we all love each other way. It's really cool.
And you can be ignorant and dumb and ask those questions because you're in the company of friends who educate you instead of ridicule you and make fun of you and make you feel small.
Yeah.
I always liked the blues for that. My dad introduced me to the blues music. And look, I don't know about government cheese and standing in a welfare line, but I know struggle. And I know that when B.B. King's singing about that, just because I didn't stand in that line with him doesn't mean I don't understand my government cheese or my, you know what I'm saying? Like I relate. So for people to be like, you don't really get it. Like that's just an asshole that's breaking comedy down to another fucking level that isn't necessary. If you laugh, if it moved you in a way, if it resonated with you, you fucking got it.
Well, it's more than that. I think is that person trying to still be separate.
Yeah.
You know, it's just still saying you don't actually belong here. Well, I'm not trying to belong there. I'm just trying to be me with you being you. And why can't we just all belong to each other? Wouldn't that be nice? So why did you get into comedy? Why did you start doing comedy?
I mean, I started doing comedy. So the origin story for me is at around 10 or 11, I sneak downstairs in our house. And I'm laying in we called it a foyer because we're white trash. We never said foyer. Did you say foyer or foyer? Did you even?
We had neither of those.
Yeah, that's what
My trailer opened into the living room. My trailer opened straight to the living room. No foyer.
By the way, this was the house where everything was right. And then 5th grade, it all fell apart. And then we had space heaters and no central heat and shit,
right.
You know? Kerosene heaters, literally. I still to this day, we had kerosene heaters in our house.
Same.
Right? And
I had no heat in our log cabin.
We had to fill my dad's like, put the kerosene in there. I'm like, I'm in 3rd grade. You're trusting me not to spill a drop of this shit?
Totally.
And then my brothers and I would grab each other and put each other's hands on it. Like, you know what I mean? Or spit on it and all that shit. Yeah, sit there and like, come here.
I have a scar on the back of my leg because I backed up too close to it and it burned the shit out of my leg. Oh, yeah.
We had the cylinder one that came up, and then we had the little square one on the ground that had that one that burned the fuck out of you.
The square one's what I had. Oh.
So I sneaked down, and at the time we had, it was early cable, and it was something called Super TV, and it was like the size of a DVD player today, and in the evening you would press a button, and then you would get HBO, you would get like a Playboy channel. And that was early Playboy. It was like, tic-tac-toe. You would see maybe some boobies or something, you know. And then a couple other things. It was very early. And I'm laying in that little foyer, and my dad's in a recliner facing that way. So I'm behind him watching what he's watching. And I see kids on the screen, and I'm like, oh, I'm a kid. And then I see Richard Pryor come on. And it's Richard Pryor busting loose where he's taking all the
I know
bad
the movie.
Kids to the orphanage.
On the bus.
And I started laughing so hard I got caught. My dad heard me and he's like, hey. And I was like, oh, fuck. My 2 brothers are still upstairs asleep. He's like, get in here. And I'm like, oh, shit. He tells me, sit down. And I sit right next to him on the couch. And he goes, finish watching this with me. And that was it. I laughed so hard, and watching him laugh, I was like, look at this. This dude's laughing his ass off right now. So that's where it was sort of born in me. And then 7th grade comes, or maybe it was 6th grade, and my dad, and again, I don't know why. My dad is so smart. I look back at it because he did everything individually with us, but I shared a room with my twin brother, and he calls me out of bed at like midnight. He's like, Ryan, come here. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I go out to the living room, and it's Saturday Night Live, and it's Eddie Murphy, and it's Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. And he goes, sit down and watch this.
The best.
And now he's introduced me to Richard Pryor, and now Eddie Murphy, and now also SNL. So I just start imitating the characters around the house, and I'm making him and relatives and and people laugh. And that's when I sort of knew, like, oh, I could, like, if I'm just a regular kid, it's go over there, get out of here, go play, sit at that table. But if I was making them laugh, I could hang out. And then I could also hear what the hell they were all talking about and all that. So that's where comedy sort of was born for me. And I wanted to do, like, I didn't know. When I got here, I just did comedy. I didn't know about agents or managers or any of that. I just wanted to try to be funny, try to get on as many shows as possible. So I'd started comedy stand-up when I was 20. I went to a club in Baltimore called Winchester's. Lewis Black knows it. We talked about it when he was on the show. And I just did, like, I don't know, it was like a monthly show, and I did 3 of them. And then my dad was already dead. My mom's gone. We're living with my grandmom. She dies. And then that was the end of comedy. Then I went and started working. I was in college full-time during the day at Towson State. And then I worked all night at UPS. Shout out to UPS Baltimore Hub, Primary 1 Joe Avenue. That's where I worked all through college. And then started didn't do comedy again until I was 27. I found improv when I first came here, groundlings and stuff like that. And the wait list was like a year to get to the next level. And I was like, well, I'm not going to just do nothing now. So that's when I went back to stand up and then just never stopped.
Wife of the Party is brought to you by DraftKings. An action-packed fight card is taken off in Las Vegas for UFC 300, and DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC, is giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets with any UFC 300 bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code LeeAnn, that's LeeAnn. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code LeeAnn. The crown is yours. Both your parents died?
No. My mom was just like, peace. I'm out.
Your mom just tapped out?
Yeah, she tapped out.
Is she still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd she tap out?
Well, I mean,
I'm sure you've talked about this a million times.
But it's okay, man. She and I reconnected recently because of my daughter and stuff. We didn't speak for, almost 30-some years.
Wow.
Something like that. Maybe 25, around that. I can't even remember. That's how long it was. But I don't know. My mom, I know why she and my dad split. She cheated on my dad. Mm-hmm. She cheated on, now we didn't live in a convenience store. My mom worked at one, and she cheated on my dad with a dude that was there. Mm. And then it all came out, and then they split. So when we were in 5th grade, that's when that was the last time we had an upstairs.
Right.
Yeah, that was the last time stairs were in our home.
Went like downhill from there. We 5th grade, but that's when comedy came to you.
Yep.
Same time.
Yep. We went from a really nice home to people told me it's called a railroad apartment, and it's just it's a hallway with rooms. That's right. I know what that is. Spot was, and that's where we had the kerosene heaters, and it was nothing. It was this room right now is bigger than the living room and the kitchen combined.
Wow.
And then it was just a long hallway with tiny ass bedrooms, 3 bedrooms cut off out of it.
Why'd you move out of that house? Did they split and have to sell the house? Or?
Yeah. So when I look back on it and think about it as an adult now, my mom's mom was living with us, and my mom wasn't working. So my dad's working at, back then it was National Airport, but it's Reagan now, for Pan Am. Mm-hmm. He was a crew chief there, and my mom's not working. And you look back on it, I was like, there's no way my dad was affording that house by himself. So our grandmom living with us must have been the supplemental income to help afford the house. So her and my dad were great. And they were both like, what the fuck, lady, we're the one doing all the fucking work here.
Right.
And you're going to go cheat and fuck this up for everybody, your kids included. So now we can't afford the house. My grandmom gets her own little place. My mom, we have to go with my mom to this apartment, and my dad goes to his mom's place for 10 seconds and gets on his feet. And then they get back together. After 1 year, they get back together. And we now move into this house And it was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, tiny little place in this neighborhood. And it was never good. Like, and I remember in 7th grade telling my dad, like, you really should go. Mom treats you like shit. Like,
Aww.
I was the one that was picked on the most. I mean, none of us were, again, I wouldn't call any of us fortunate, but there were less fortunate up the ladder. Yeah.
And you have a twin brother?
I do, yeah. He's a fraternal twin. He's 4 years older. I mean, 4 years, 4 minutes older.
I was going to say 4 years. How's that work out?
It's a miracle. You ain't going to believe it. I was in there.
Now, that's something to talk about. Whoa.
And then I have a younger brother who's he's just a little under 4 years younger.
Are you like your twin?
No, we're very different.
Yeah,
my twin brother, here's the creepy thing, the twin stuff is I can hear his voice sometimes. When I speak, I'm like I'll answer my daughter. I'm like, that sounds just like, when I hear it come out, I'm like, ugh, it sounds just like somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's weird. And we've never had any weird twin. The one time that I was all blown away, everybody's like, settle the fuck down. But I hadn't seen him in like a year. I go back to Baltimore to visit. I got this pair of Adidas that are not a regular pair you can just go get anywhere. And he walks in and he's got the same fucking shoes on.
No way.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And everybody's like, shut up.
That's cool.
And I was like, that's a little something. It's a little something.
Now, let me ask you this. Your mom being the way she was and you not having a relationship for 30 years, how or do you think that affected your relationship with women?
Yeah.
I figured, but I thought I'd ask. Yeah. How so? What do you think?
There's several ways. When I was young, and even still, like, I'll fall in love quick.
Oh, yeah.
If you, especially in high school, like, or anything, I had no feminine energy, love, hugs, pats on that, nothing. Pat on the back, good job, nothing. Just always, you're a loser, you suck, you're ugly, you're dumb, that constantly. But my father and then my grandmom and her sisters, who were super influential in my life, and even my mom's mom would say all the time, like, that's not normal. Mm-hmm. It's not normal. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to your friends' moms, who pay attention to your grandmoms and their sisters and the way they love and nurture, and look at your grandmom and your dad's relationship. My dad also taught me, it was a great example. It was just about people. He said, look, I don't want you to grow up to hate women. Like, what your mom is doing isn't normal. And he's like, it's the same thing with race. You know, people say, oh, black people or whatever. He's like, there's assholes in every race. He's like, you don't think there's white assholes, Ryan? I'm like, yeah. He's like, and there are good women. They're out there. So I don't know. And all of them would also say, your mom changed. It wasn't like she was always this way. When my dad went off to Vietnam, she would go to my grandmom's house daily and cry and super supportive. So they were like, we don't know what fucking changed. And also, she must have really wanted kids, because the only reason we're fraternal twins is because she took fertility pills. Doesn't run in our family at all. She took whatever, and we were born in March of 73, so whatever she's pumping in her body in 1972.
It's back in the day, man.
Ends up with 2 of us.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that's so interesting. You know, my mom and dad had a similar experience in that my dad said she really changed. Mm-hmm. And this isn't normal either. But my mom's issues came from like childhood trauma, like legit incidental childhood trauma. So I wonder, do you know if your mom had anything like that?
In the years later when we reconnected, I asked.
No, you did.
I asked. So the only thing I do know that happened, and I have a feeling this could be the 2 things that really, and she's never really gone to work on it or find out herself either, you know, but she and her mom did not have a good relationship, but also especially after she did what she did, you know. But my mom's sister was pregnant, and I believe her husband at the time was in the military. I want to say they might have been in like Virginia for the military, and she was pregnant at the hospital. And something happened, and after the pregnancy, she died. And my grandmother lost it. My mom said she remembers my grandmother screaming down the hospital hallways like, you fucking savages, and you killed my baby, and just bad news.
Wow.
And I think that also really changed my grandmother and probably affected their relationship even more,
Yeah.
And maybe that was the favorite. And maybe that was the one that shouldn't have gone. And maybe I don't know what was said.
Right.
And then also her father died. So he was gone before I was born. I believe he died at a young age. And I would tell my mom the shit she did to us. I'm like, you don't remember doing this? Fucking us? Nope. Fucking us up? Like, nope. And then she tells me the story about taking a ride with her dad one day when she's like 8 in his car and they had the best day together. I go, you remember that? That affected you that much, but you don't remember hitting your kids?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I do remember that. And I was like, you should really fucking look into that.
Yeah, right? You should look into that for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So how do you think it's affected relationship with women?
Well, it's funny because I've gone to therapy for years about this stuff. I'm a little jealous. I'm not big time jealous. And one of the therapists said, he goes, you're not really jealous. You're suspicious. And I go, that's it. That's it. All these years, I've been looking for the word. I don't mind if you go do that, but I'm also like.
But why are you doing that?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
It ain't the what so much as it is the why for me.
It's because she cheated.
Yeah.
Cheating sucks, man. I got cheated on one time. And it's awful.
Yeah.
It really makes you question, especially when they gaslight you.
Mm-hmm.
Is something going on? You're crazy.
You're crazy. No, yes.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened in my parents. I mean, I know that it all came out. Like it was, they couldn't hide it anymore. They're arguing in front of us. And then my grandmothers are both arguing with, her, and it's all coming out. And we're in 3rd grade, like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what? And then we're like, wait, we got to move out of this nice ass house. And so it all begins there. But it's definitely affected me. I don't know. It affected me in a way too, where I didn't want to be a parent like her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I waited a long time to be a parent because I wanted it to be right.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be like a space shuttle launch,
right.
All the things. And then after a year of being engaged, my daughter's mother's like, well, basically, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, man, I could have just done this in my 20s. You know what I mean? When I had good knees and a good back and shit. I didn't need to wait till I was 41 to do this.
Right.
I could have easily done this when I was 22.
Were you surprised when she was bounced?
I mean, in honesty, by the time it hit, no. Mm-hmm. Leading up to it, yeah. Because we had dated for like 2.5 years and she had a son. Still has a son, obviously. It's my daughter's, I call him my stepson at this point, but my daughter's brother. But I was the first time I'd ever had that. So I'm losing 2 people in a relationship. And it really messed with me. I went to therapy for a while. And then we were split for 2 years. And then she started coming back. And I was like, no. And then I really did for a while see a different person. And then we decided to have a baby. It's not like we got pregnant. Like we really went for it. We were engaged. Because she said, I don't want to have another baby until I'm married. Been there, done that. Mm-hmm. I said, I respect that. Mm-hmm. However, we're not spring chickens. It could take 2 years to get pregnant. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm talking about. Like when you don't want a baby, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
When you want one, it isn't the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Even though there are a gazillion of people, it's still not the easiest thing to do.
It's ridiculous how hard it is.
When you want to really focus and do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's impossible to get pregnant. Nearly impossible.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
But when you don't,
when you're on
not
the pill,
even sweating it.
When you're on the pill.
Yeah.
And
you got pregnant on the pill?
I got pregnant on the pill.
What?
Georgia Kreischer, pregnant on the pill.
No.
Promise.
What percentage is that?
Like negative none. No.
Negative none.
It's not hardly ever. Yeah.
That is a medical miracle right there.
It's to me, it was God saying, this is your path. Because I'll tell you what, if it hadn't happened that way, I would have doubted a lot of this path. Not because of Bert, but because of my history. Mm-hmm. My past of, my mom's like on number 7. My dad's had 2. I just, nothing works out in the world of marriage. I don't have a good example of that. So I think if I hadn't had some divine intervention, because once I ended up pregnant on the pill, I'm actively trying to prevent this, known Bert for like a year. my brain went, okay, this is your path. This is where you're supposed to be. And there's just surrender. And all the good and the bad and the indifferent. On the pill, yeah.
Doing all the right things. And that baby was like, I'm coming anyway.
Yep.
Fuck your plans.
You know what Bert Kreischer wants, Bert Kreischer gets.
I guess.
Usually, but yeah. So did she get pregnant really quick, I guess? Were you trying to?
Third try.
Wow.
And
meant to be.
So we decided the agreement was we'll get engaged, at least that, not, married, and then we'll work on the baby. And quickly, yes, meant to be, boom. And then we're engaged for like a year, and then she doesn't want to do it anymore. So we split, and then that's when I become a single dad. Like my daughter's literally one. And I'm telling you, I don't know I don't know anything. I'm a new dad still. And now I'm a brand new single dad. Mm-hmm. And I'm in my own place. And man, I don't know what I'm doing. But I know that whatever I really concentrate on, I'm pretty fucking good at in life. Whatever it is, sports, whatever, I'm pretty fucking good at it. And now my daughter's 9.5 or whatever, healthy, happy as shit. I taught her how to ride a bike. Like I'm doing all these things. And I look back on these videos now with this tiny little girl and I cry. Aww. I'm like, I did that. I look at the Christmas, because when you're in it, like I hear this about athletes a lot. You're getting me emotional. They say like after they win the Super Bowl, it's not the journey so much. There's the destination, but then there's the looking back on it. When you go back and you look on it, you go, yeah, this thing happened and it sucked, but it made this happen. And I'm looking, at the time, I'm just decorating for Christmas because I want my daughter to have the best Christmas. I did a whole video, like this is our first Christmas here, Stella, while she's sleeping and stuff. And I still can't show it to her yet because I don't want to fuck up Santa.
Totally.
You know what I mean? I can't show it to her
Hold
yet.
on.
Yeah. Yep. I still got a tiny bit of that left.
Yeah.
I get questions all the time like, Dad. And I'm like, hey, if you don't believe, nothing's coming. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I can tell you.
That's the way it worked for me.
The non-believers get nothing.
Right?
Yeah. It's cool not to believe in Santa, but then you don't get anything. But yeah, I look back on those and I cry and I'm like, how the fuck how did I do that?
You just do it.
You just do it.
You just do it and you don't appreciate it in the moment. You're right. You appreciate it when you look back. Wait till she's 19.
Yeah.
And you look back at the girl, the baby that came on the pill is 19 now.
That's crazy.
She'll be 20 in June. And Bert and I, we really keep going. I don't want to believe that those 20 years or these 20, 22 years are the best years of our life, but they're definitely the richest, right? There's just so much volume in every day when you're a hands-on parent. And that volume won't ever be the same because we're busier now than we were there in this business, but it's not the same. There's just a lack of richness in that kind of, that
I'm knee deep in gymnastics now. I know that's not going to last forever. I'm knee deep in Saturday soccers, and I love it.
You should love every minute. What a not coincidence that you had a girl.
Mm-hmm. I wanted a girl too. I really did.
You did?
I have two brothers, and like every one of my cousins is a boy. There were like two girls, and I was angry. I was an angry motherfucker who still has a chip on his shoulder. I've raised myself since 16. And literally, my brothers, me and the two of them, were in a home by ourselves. My mom went and lived. So when my dad died, the state was like, you're minors, so the money's going to go to your mom. Like, we don't want it to go to her. Right. We don't want to live with her.
Right.
And they were like, well, then the only other person will be your dad's mother. And she lived right outside of Baltimore City. And we were already in high school. And the only people we have are our friends, our sports, our everything. Like, if we go start somewhere else, we don't know. Now we're isolated and know no one. So we go live with her. And honestly, it was a good thing. She decided that she was just going to go live with her boyfriend. And she just left us alone in this apartment. So me and my two brothers share a bedroom. And she would come home on like Sunday for a couple hours, do laundry, whatever, and then just get the fuck out. Raise hell and then get the fuck out.
Wow.
And that's all we wanted. So
what was she raising hell about?
She was just an angry woman. And it was always anything. And if you came in and you had, my friends always yell, like my friend to this day still does this quote on my mom. And it's just a generic yelling. She would throw the door and be like, Ryan, get that shit out of the corner. And I'm like, what? What shit is in the corner? That's what he still calls me. That's the first thing he'll say. And I laugh because he does a pretty good impression of my mom.
Get that shit out of the corner.
And it's just a random, like, I'm just going to lob an angry thing in this room.
You got it locked and loaded before the doorknob turns, right?
Yeah, like what shit? We're all looking like what corner and what shit are we talking about?
That's crazy.
But it was always me.
It was always you, too.
Always. And my grandmother, her mom would tell me that.
Was she jealous of you?
This is a weird thing. My grandma, her mom would pull me aside and tell me, you're my favorite and everything. But what I always learned was you shouldn't have favorites.
Yeah.
And I would tell her that, like, it's not okay. And she's like, that woman picks on you. I need you to understand, like, I remember my grandma telling my mom that my younger brother broke something. And my mom turned around and beat the shit out of me in front of her. And she's trying to stop her. Like, I told you he did it.
Right.
And it was just like that all the time.
Do you believe in like past life shit? You think it's
I
some
believe,
kind of karma,
you know what? Here's
shit?
what I believe. I believe in everything.
Mm-hmm.
I believe voodoo is only as real as you believe it is.
Right. I believe in that stuff too.
I wonder.
I wonder too, because I had this woman who read me, and she was like, you chose your mother to finish it, and you're finished. Mm-hmm. So move on.
I've heard the things about we do choose.
Yeah, I believe that.
I'm wondering who the fuck picked all the things I've gone through, though. Jesus Christ. I'm like, I chose it.
Are you sure?
You sure somebody else didn't sign
Was I high when I chose this? I definitely wouldn't have done this on purpose.
No. Some of the shit I've been through, I'm like, I picked this.
Are you sure? Right. That's so funny.
I wonder if it wasn't that. I mean, I had such a good father. And that was my goal, was like, to finish what my dad started with my kid, you know? And I was terrified because last year I almost died. And then
wait,
my
why did you almost die?
It's a long story I've talked about a million times, but I will just quickly say I went in for a surgery, and then they had to, I don't know, they said when I woke up from anesthesia, I was coughing and there was a tear. So they fixed a little tear. But then they let me lay in the hospital still for 8 days, and my lungs clotted and then pushed on my heart, and I collapsed on the bed. And I luckily woke up, and they were like, shit's not good for you right now. I had to call my daughter's mother and be like, I might not make it out of here. Like, we had to really have those talks.
That's terrible.
Yep. So that was my biggest fear, was like, fuck, I'm not going to be around for my kid, you know? And I always still feel bad for my dad, because my dad missed out on so much good shit, and he was the good one. He should be the one with the grandbabies and everything right now. So,
but don't you think if you have one good one, you can make it?
That's what my therapist said.
If you got one good one, my dad's a good one.
That's what they say.
Even though he moved into my dorm. Until then, he was a real good one. Solid, reliable, did what he said. No gameplay, because my mom was all gameplay. He was straight shooter, really sweet, great ethics.
You just need one. You just need one to genuinely love you.
One.
That's the truth. That's where my grandmom and then her sisters come into play too. Like at one point, after she died, we had an uncle come in and take the house from us, kick us out in the street, change the locks right there on the spot.
Why?
Because he wanted to have it for him and his son.
Wait, whose house was it?
So legally, it was, all right, so my grandmom had 2 boys, my dad and this piece of shit. And my dad dies. But my grandmom had amended her will to say whatever, the 50% that went to my son now gets divided evenly between his 3 boys. Mm-hmm. But once she was gone, she had left him executor of the will. He had power of attorney. He had it all.
Yeah.
And he just was like,
goodbye.
See you later.
Wow.
And threw us out. We were homeless. And my grandmom's sister, my Aunt Marguerite, my great aunt, ends up taking me in. Wow. And she'd already had 3 of her grandkids with her. You know what I mean? So I ended up living with her for 2 months. And I got to tell you, like, it was one of the worst times. And I got so close with my cousins. Mm-hmm. We still talk weekly.
That's great.
We still hang out when we go see each other. You know, like, it was really nice. And also, they're the historians of the family. So I'm asking my Aunt Marguerite, tell me stories about, because my dad was her nephew. So I'm like, tell me stories about my dad. I get my grandmom's side before, but now she's gone. Mm-hmm. So I used to really like that. And we would play pinochle, all that shit. And my Aunt Marguerite was the sister that smoked and cursed and shit. You know what I mean? She's like, watch this motherfucker, Ryan. He cheats. And I'm like, so I'm like, all right, Aunt Marguerite. Yeah, I loved her a lot. Yeah.
It's interesting how when your extended family takes you in when you're in like trauma, right? So in third grade, my dad moved me and him in with his parents. And his parents had just adopted 2 teenage boys. And so my relationship with those men now, one of them's passed, but with Danny was very special because it was in a moment of trauma for me. And he had just been adopted as a teenager, was totally illiterate. And my grandfather, like my grandpa was the best man. He pulled up to this convenience store in rural Georgia and saw these 2 boys in a truck, and they were like filthy, like disgustingly filthy, dirty. I went in the store and ate lunch, came back out and asked if they had eaten and said no. So he bought them lunch and asked if they worked because they were big boys. You should be working on a farm was what he thought. No. And he did a little digging around. This is as I understand it. I may get it wrong, but this is as I understand it. And found out, their mom was ne'er-do-well and had lots of kids. And he just said, I think you want to come home with me. And they ended up living with my grandparents at the same time I was living with my grandparents. And neither of them could read. So my Aunt Carol, who's a teacher, came to their house every night with her. She taught third grade. I was in third grade with her third grade reader and would teach them how to read while I did my homework.
Wow.
So they learned how to read with me, sort of. Yeah. So all that trauma kind of made us close in a different way.
Yeah, it's a different kind of trauma bond.
It's a different kind of trauma bond. It's like recuperative trauma.
That's right.
Right?
Recovery, yes.
I don't know if that's even a term, but we just made it up.
All I needed was a fucking safe place over 100%. My head. I didn't need a home yet. I didn't need to get mail. I needed a shower. I needed a little bit of food. And I had a job. I was still working at UPS. So actually, I didn't even need food. I would just go get fast food. All I needed was a safe roof over my head and a couch.
Yeah.
And that's what I got. But here's the other thing. I didn't just veg. I wasn't a bum.
Right.
They barely ever saw me because I would get up at 6 a.m. I go to college all day and I'd work till 3 or 4 a.m. And I'd come home and sleep for 2 to 3 hours. And they'd see me in the morning and my aunt was like, you really are doing it. And I was like, I promise you. And then within 2 months, I found us an apartment and then we were out of there.
And were your brothers doing the same?
My younger brother went with my mom. My mom still took him. Because at this time he's still in high school, I want to say. And then my other brother had a girlfriend at the time, and he went and just stayed at her place until we got this.
You got it all figured out. Yeah. Does he hustle like you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's a hustler. My twin brother, I believe he owns and runs a salvage yard. I say I believe the own part because I'm not 100% sure, but he's got a huge. We grew up in a junkyard. My friend Shannon's dad had a junkyard. Shannon Patterson is my brother, basically. He has a junkyard in Baltimore City.
Gold mine, by the way.
Listen, back then,
gold mine.
We were all about recycling way before this whole recycle craze. Everything was recycle. And I still do that with my stand-up and my art, like any creative stuff. I'll be like, so what I learned was, that truck's wrecked. It's wrecked. But the tailgate's good, the hood's good, that left fender's good, that right door is still good. And we can piece that out and sell that shit for thousands of dollars.
Yep. The parts is worth more than
thousands of dollars. Right? I'm like, oh. And then I would see how many people would come up. I'm like, why do you come here? And they're like, well, because if you go to the dealer, it's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh. And I would see that they come up for a mirror or just a whatever, wire harness for something. They go do it themselves. And then I was like, okay. And then with anything comedy now, I'm like, all right, well, we got this whole body of shit. Maybe we just take this piece here, put that on social media. This piece here is good for this, those things. I never throw anything away. I say I shelve it. And then later I'm like, what would go perfect with that? This motherfucker right here. Yep. So I really feel like that mentality of parting and being, mindful and frugal really helps me in life, period.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nobody uses junkyards anymore, do they? Nobody knows how to work on a car.
That's right. You can't these days. I say that all the time. There's like 30 computers on these fucking things.
Terrible.
And if you fuck it up, then you void the warranty and all that.
Totally.
But some of them got to the point where there's still some, I think, in Burb. By the way, I'm asking you now because I'm just remembering, before I leave here, please don't forget to give me the information for that demolition derby.
Oh.
You told me you would go.
It's called Night of Destruction.
I want to go.
Totally forgot to give that to you. Night of Destruction is at the Irwindale Speedway. It is so
I can't wait.
Fun.
I look for it all the time. But so going back to that, like when I was 14, we started driving. We started driving in these old beater cars at the junkyard because it was big. It was acres and acres and acres on a massive hillside. And I'm 14 years old, and you come in at your age now, or me and Mr. Roy, like, Ryan, take this lady up on the hill and go get her that mirror. And I'm 14 years old driving you in my little beater Delta 88. And you're just like looking over at this kid driving you up to get a mirror. I'm like, wait here, I'll go get it for you. And get it. And I go, this one you want? Yeah, okay. And I drive you back down.
Right.
So I loved it. I fucking loved it. And yeah, these junkyards, one in Burbank, I think now does like, you just pay like $20.
Yeah.
And you haul it.
Okay.
You want to go get a door, okay, but you got to fucking, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's fucking all you can haul, basically.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So do you think you're living the dream?
I'm living my dream.
I think you are.
I don't know about anybody else.
No, I think you are, though.
I'm living my dream. There's no doubt. I've long wanted to be a successful professional stand-up comedian and father first. That was the thing for me. Like, honest to God, I'd give all this shit up in a heartbeat just to be a dad.
Do you have a question for me? Well, I probably have an answer because I'm pretty opinionated. But if you want to ask me the question, you can leave me a voicemail at 818-949-8536, and I might just answer your question on the show. Again, that is 818-949-8536. So how much of you do you think you healed by being a parent?
A lot. And going back to having a girl too, I knew it would calm me down. I also knew it would make me see things in a way I had never seen them or felt them. Because if I have a boy, I'm just going to pump to that kid the way I see shit. And he'll show me the way he sees stuff, and it'll be different, but it's not going to be like this. And my daughter, every day, I'm like, that's a great point. Like, that's a great, you know how it is. Kids look at you because they think you're the encyclopedia of everything. They think you have all the answers. And I love being humble with my daughter and be like, Stella, I don't know. But here's the good news. I don't have to make shit up like my parents did.
Right?
We're going to look that shit up and tell you what it really is.
Hey, Siri.
Yeah, exactly.
Let us know. I know I always say, I don't know. I think our marriage would look very different if we'd had a boy.
Yeah.
I think so.
I believe that.
I think Bert would have broed up and would have ganged up on mom and made fun of mom so much that I would have been less happy. I don't know if I would have been unhappy, but I would have been less happy for sure.
I mean, I like the broing up with the girl. You know what I mean?
That's the best because then you can also girl it up with the girl.
Right.
As a little bit of both. And that perspective that you're talking about that you get, Bert would have done the same thing. He would have just pumped his idea into the boy and then not been curious, because when you have something different than yourself, it forces you to be curious. Well, how is that different for you? And boy, I thought it was this. And now that I have a girl, it's not that. It's something a little different. Makes you curious. You think you're a pretty curious person.
Oh, super curious. That's what I'm saying. It's not about the what you're doing. It's about the why you're fucking doing.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm naturally curious. I want to know all of it. I want to know how your computer gets to your destination. Like, how'd you think of that? Why'd you think of that? Where are you going with that, with this? You know, like when my daughter, like, she'll write things and then hand them to me, I'm like, wow, that's fucking really impressive. Good artwork. She's super funny. She fucking gets it. She gets it. And she's had to come to comedy shows and stuff. I've taken her to La Jolla and stuff if I don't have a sitter or whatever. So getting a little bit of a young education in comedy like I did. But also I want her to know that this is what real life is early in case I am not around.
Right.
And I'm proud of the body of work I've left behind. If my daughter listens to it, she'll hear a bit of a young idiot starting off and a man who grew into a dad and a better person and a better comedian all as it begins. So I like that for her.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, it definitely helped heal a lot because Well, there's a couple of things. Like, I didn't want to be the parent my mom was. And I was worried. I think you naturally worry. If you're a good person, I think you naturally worry.
I agree.
And then I also have to be careful I don't overcorrect. You know what I mean? I don't want to do so much that she's like, fuck, Dad. Like, we're already at the age where I can't hold her hand and walk into school anymore. I can just put my arm over her shoulder or something. I'm allowed to do that.
Aww.
We're allowed to look cool. We're not allowed to look little anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And then the other part is, like, I get to be a dad that my dad didn't get to be. I say this all the time. My father was the greatest man, but I want to be something he never was, and that's an old man. You know, my dad died at 42.
That's
super
why
young.
did he die?
He had what I had. He ended up with this. So they thought it was a heart attack originally. And then come to find out, once I find out I have this blood disease, everyone has to get tested. And the only asshole in the family that's got it is me. So my dad and me, they were like, okay. We're, you know, in the 80s, when someone young died, the doctors tell me, we always just used to say it's a heart attack. It's a heart attack. But what we're realizing with the advancement in medicine is a lot of these people were clotting. And that was the actual issue. And my dad did have clots when he got out of the hospital from a heart attack, and then he died a couple days later.
Wow.
So they're like, we're not going to sit here and say it was definitely that, but it was most likely
Most
that.
likely, yeah. Well, I wonder though, I have another question about what it healed in you. Like, because I'll say when I became a parent and I have a daughter who's very similar to me. And when I started watching her behavior, which was behavior I got in trouble for, that she was doing at a year old, that I did. Obviously, I don't remember being a year old and getting in trouble for that behavior. But like, I was a very physical kid. I was always filthy dirty. I was always climbing on shit, throwing shit, building shit. I was that way from birth. And I got in trouble for it all the time with my mom. And watching my daughter did something in me where I started loving me differently. Did that happen for you? Yeah. Isn't that one of the most powerful things?
Yeah. I look at a child and I think, how could you look at this kid and say, I hate you?
Yeah.
You're a loser. You're not anything. Or even put hands on.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I'm never going to put hands on my daughter. And also, I'm the first man she loves. I don't want to set the precedent that it's okay for any kind of physical, punishment or any of that. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Also, I'm pretty chill. I'll raise my voice. I'll flex vocally, but I don't really yell. I don't fucking go crazy. Most of it's like I'm disappointed. That doesn't make me feel good. And that shit works way better than it works.
Doesn't it though? I'm disappointed. You're like, got it.
Well,
Isla doesn't. Isla goes, sucks for you.
Yeah.
Sorry you're disappointed.
I'll get that eventually, but I'll find another one.
I was that way too, though. I was like, oh, are you? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, well.
My bad.
Yeah, it has. It is certainly, it's made me be the father that my dad was and want to continue what he didn't get to.
But what in you did it make you feel differently about you? Not as a dad, but as Ryan.
It really made me step outside of me and look at like 7-year-old me and 8-year-old me and hug me and love me and be like, man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And now I have a podcast called The Way Back where it's just all, childhood reminiscing, like the old days. And I'm having to go through a lot of my old photos because we include those in the episodes. And I'm seeing this little kid look at the camera and I'm knowing what this kid went through and what he's about to go through. And it's made me love that kid so much more. And in turn, it's just made me appreciate where I am now. And to answer your question, I'm 100% living my dream.
Yeah, it seems like you are. It's really wonderful to see someone live their dream.
It's nice. It feels good.
Yeah.
People are like, you're lucky. I'm like, it took 50 motherfucking hard-ass, ugly motherfuckers. Years. Let me have it, goddamn it.
I earned every piece of it.
Time in,
you did. It's so amazing. Your whole world. Every time I step into your world to watch a clip or to listen to some of your stand-up, it's so easy to be there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's really easy to be there. It feels like a home in a certain way, even though I don't know you very well. I mean, I've only talked to you a few times in our lives together in our intersections, but I feel like I've known you forever.
Same.
Isn't that interesting? But that is really who you are.
I also feel that's a bit of a touch of Southern thing too.
Possibly.
That little Southern charm.
And some similarities.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, look.
I've been in 1 or 2 junkyards.
Yeah, I know. The whole you towing, right when you said that, I was like, I'm picturing you being my buddy Shannon with him pulling up in his rollback, and you're like, who's hooking this up? You're like, I am.
Who do you think's hooking this up? I am doing
I
it.
fucking love that. But yeah,
Is there anything you want to do you haven't done yet?
That's a good question. I don't know. I try also not to put all that shit on myself because I'm just trying to enjoy every day. But yeah, I want to be an old man. Mm-hmm. I want to retire. I want to just be happy. Look, I'm simple. I don't need a palatial mansion. I don't need any of that shit. Give me a nice little spot right on the water, salt water, so I can throw my crab traps out on Monday. And on Saturday, pull them out and have a big crab feast every weekend. Got my little 4-wheelers, open space, dogs. Kids are still around, grandkids, hopefully. That's it. I don't care about going to fucking Italy. And I mean, I do. I'd love to.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, I'd love to go to Italy and Japan. But I'm not going to fucking feel like, I never got that done. Like, first of all, LeeAnn, I'm not going to lie. I can't believe I'm alive. Like, we should be statistics.
Oh.
We should be addicts. We should be the dead ones in the ditch, as they say, or these days already long dead of fentanyl or whatever it is. Like, I love that we are the opposite. Mm-hmm. I love that we're a statistic in a small book of people. And what I love about you, too, is you say, I feel like I know you because you took the worst parts of it and you're able to laugh about it and look back fondly on it. And you also aren't just still sitting on your ass bitching about the man or someone didn't do this or my mom, in our 50s or whatever, bitching and booting. Here we are. I'm healthy. I've never been happier.
Same.
I've got a healthy kid. That's the other thing. After last year, like, health is all of it.
Isn't it?
It's all of it.
It is.
Yeah.
If it's like, I just heard this somewhere. Your health is like your table. You can't sit anything on a table if you don't have a table. So if you don't take care of the table, you can't have Thanksgiving dinner. You can't play cards. You can't do arts and crafts. You can't fill in the blank. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a table, you can't do anything. And your health is your table.
It is.
I'm so glad you're healthy. That's so scary. You gonna have any more kids?
I'll answer it like this. I don't want to be a super old dad because then the kid doesn't. I don't get the kid a long time and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Just even if the math works out.
Yeah.
But I won't say no to that. I mean, I'm not closed off to it at all.
That's good.
I would have to be a younger lady though.
Yeah.
Who could run after that kid better.
Better knees than you?
Better knees and back. Got to hustle after that kid. I'm like, baby's running. Like, I'm going to need somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But no, I'm open to it. I am open to it.
Good. Mm-hmm. Are you, I don't know, are you in love right now? Do you have a lady?
I'm dating.
You're dating?
I'm dating.
How is it? Well, I meant to ask you this earlier and I forgot. Splitting from your girl, how what? I don't know anything about your split, so I'm flying blind.
Splitting from my daughter or her mom? You mean
from her mom?
Yeah.
How did that? Did it affect you negatively, like with women? I'm always curious. This is why I asked the question. I have been through so many divorces in my own household, but my mom is kind of dead inside. Mm-hmm. So she's not learned her lesson, right? She's on number 7, I think. So she's not learning. I think. Rumor has it she's on 7. I know for sure, confirmed 6. So, and divorced from 6. So, but there was no lesson learned. So there was no like, man, I fucked up here. She fucked up there. Here was a warning sign. I should have known this better. Did you have any of that after that happened, or was it not that deep?
No, it wasn't that deep because my focus didn't become, let me hate this person. It became, let me love this child and figure out what the fuck we're doing. Because she was a single mom already with a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
She knew what the fuck to expect.
Right.
I didn't know what croup was. The first time I heard her, I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm freaking the fuck out. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And I'm there alone.
How brave of you.
And it wasn't brave. It's just what I'm supposed to do.
It was brave, though, but it was brave. Bert Kreischer would have moved in with his sister. He would never have done that by himself. He would have moved in with his sister.
All me. It's still me when she's with me. It's still me.
That's great.
But yeah, it didn't make me hate her mom or women or anything more. What it did do was put more paranoia in me because now I've got a little child, and this is a girl, and she's going to be living over there. Even though it's 3 miles away, it might as well be on fucking Mars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then your mind starts tripping about these men coming in. Are they going to abuse her? Are they going to hurt her? Are they going to, are their kids going to introduce her to drugs or drive her in their cars and crap? Like, and I had to go to fucking EMDR therapy to really calm my mind and my anxiety and be like, bro, you could do that all day long. You're going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I'll go back and answer your question. I am in love now.
Oh.
And
that makes me so happy.
I'd be open to having kids, but again, I'm just the guy. I don't have to carry that baby in my body. You know what I mean? Like she said to me, she's like, you don't have to worry about leaving a sexual encounter with a person growing inside you. And as a man, I was like, no one's ever said it like that. You know what I mean?
When you put it that way.
That is what it is. Every time I've left sex, I've had to worry about a person growing inside someone else.
Right.
I've never walked away being like, I wonder if there's a person in here. And I was like, what a way to fucking put it.
Yeah.
So I keep listening to the ladies in my life. Usually the dudes are just like, fuck, you know what I mean? They're idiots.
Yeah.
I listen to the ladies. I've had some very good ones over the years, not just date, but women in my life who've, one taught me how to iron. I use that shit all the time. You know what I mean? I've taken what I could
useful
from wherever
tool.
I can. It's a very useful tool, but
that's hysterical.
I'm super happy now. I really do love my life. And I'll be honest, I look back and maybe feel the same way. Those were the good old days. I enjoyed the struggle. And if I could come back and do it all again, I say this too, if they're like, if you could come back as anyone else, and I would, honest to God, I'd come back as me. I have thoroughly enjoyed the people I've met, the relationships I've had. Even if I only get 16 years with my dad, I'd take that over a lifetime of some other bullshit. The bullshit struggles in comedy, the health, all of it. I'd take it all and do it all again. I've genuinely enjoyed being here.
I agree. I think I would do it all again too, because as I sit here today, I feel very free as a person.
Me too.
And I feel very lucky to have found my person in this life. Bert and I have started saying to each other, I love you in this life and the next, as I plan on finding him in the next one, because we're enjoying ourselves so much in this one. Why would I look for someone else?
Seriously, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't want to look for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I would never be here if I hadn't had my childhood. I would never be here. I would still be living in my hometown, and maybe in a parallel universe, I would have been just as happy.
Maybe.
But I don't know that.
Yeah.
I know this. And this is amazing. Yeah. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, even the hard stuff.
My biggest fear was always, if you don't fucking try, like you're going to be an old man and as your eyes are closing, you're going to be wondering, what if? What a horrible thought to have as you go out.
I agree.
I never, and you couldn't have told 16-year-old Ryan Sickler either that living in this apartment with just his brothers and his dad's dead and his mom's gone and you're isolated and all your friends are coming home or over every night to party and stuff. You could have never told me those would be the good old days. And I'd be like, we're not going to look back. And now I still am super close with most of those guys. And I'm like, hey, would you ever let your kid, before I can even get it out, they're like, fuck no. Yeah. We still can't believe, I mean, look, I didn't have parents. I still can't believe other parents did that, you know? And I also took advantage of it too in the way that I never got arrested. I was never in jail. I've been handcuffed a few times outside of the bedroom and got out of it. But I never had a parent to tell me no. So I went and saw so many concerts on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? Like so many of my friends, their parents rightfully so like, you're not going to see Eric Clapton on a Wednesday night. I'm like, we are.
Right?
We are, because no one's stopping us.
And look how much it probably enriched you.
Oh, my God. Now I have all the ticket stubs, and I use them on the podcast.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. It all comes around if you stay in there.
It does. It all comes around. Well, I'll say this about having a single dad, because I had a single dad.
Yeah, tell me.
And I think it is really valuable because obviously I'm happy my kids have both their parents. I'm not saying that that's worse than having two single parents, but to glass half full, having two single parents, your individual, and I was an only child also, your individual relationship with that parent teaches you so much about life, and it compartmentalizes perspectives so that you can kind of choose a perspective. It's harder when both parents, I think, are in the same house because the perspectives get kind of blended and stuff. And so I learned that my perspective could be different than yours and that be okay.
Right.
And I also got the inside scoop of guys. Because when it was me and my dad, it was me and my dad. And we did dad shit. You know, we went fishing. We drove four-wheelers. We drove dune buggies. We went to demolition derby. We went to the tractor pull. I drove a tow truck. And I did all these things that were dad-centric because he's not going to go to the ballet. You know, in the 70s, dads weren't like, you know, let's do what I think my daughter should do. Right. No, he's like, I'm going fishing. Let's go. I'm going to the riverbank for the weekend. No tent, no sleeping bag. We're sleeping on the ground.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
You slept outside on the ground?
I didn't sleep in a tent. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I am.
I didn't sleep in a tent or off the ground until I started a Girl Scout troop 13 years ago. I slept on the ground.
You say 13 years ago?
My girls are still Girl Scouts. I was a senior in high school.
Your whole life, you've gone just on the ground.
Yes.
Sleeping bag at least? Sleeping bag. Blanket? But that's it. Nothing else protecting you from the elements.
Outside. I still sleep outside sometimes, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. We have a lake house in Alabama, and I'll sleep on the dock, on the ground, on the dock, nothing above me. And everybody's like, you're going to be soaking wet. And I'm like, this ain't my first rodeo. I got it. At a certain point of night, you put your head under the sleeping bag, and you're totally fine. Yeah, we didn't have tents. We didn't have money. But a sleeping bag. I don't even think I had a sleeping bag, actually. I think it was all just quilts. Like we put a quilt down and put a quilt on top of you. I don't remember having a sleeping bag as a kid. I got a Fred Flintstone sleeping bag in my Easter basket one year. Then I outgrew it. It was real short.
Outgrew it. Yeah, they didn't even get you a,
wasn't.
This is good forever.
It was like a toddler one, and it was too short. I remember it came up to like my chest, and so I couldn't really sleep in it. But yeah, it was Fred Flintstone. But anyway, you're. I think everything I see in your world, I think you're just living your best life. It's such an inspiration because when you live your best life, it inspires other people to do the same. And especially when you live a life that's not conventional, it inspires other people to think outside the box and to find happiness where happiness lies. You know, it doesn't have to be what is shoved down our throat that happiness is supposed to be. Happiness can be throwing out your crab baskets and having a crab boil. Yeah. And that's it. It's a beautiful thing, Ryan. You are a beautiful human being.
Thanks, LeeAnn Kreischer. I think you are too.
I love knowing you.
Same. And I'm excited to get to know you more. And I was stoked to come do this today. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. I enjoyed the conversation so much. Always.
Well, if you haven't seen LeeAnn's Honeydew, go watch it. You got such love, deservedly so. And we got you on the way back. That'll be coming out soon too. So for sure,
thank you. The Honeydew's awesome.
That's you were all. You got to come back. I know you got more than an hour of fucking stories of your life. You have to come back.
Yeah, we didn't touch on a lot of stuff in there. I was like,
we just skimmed the top,
skimmed the surface.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about rattlesnakes on the Honeydew.
Nope.
You'll have to go the way back for that.
Come back.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.